What if you could just walk through the chaos of your day, completely untouched by other people's negativity? What if all that frustration and anger that used to hijack your peace just couldn't affect you anymore? You know the feeling, right? That hot surge when someone cuts you off in traffic. The sting of a thoughtless comment. The slow burn of being ignored. It feels like they're stealing your calm, like they have control over your emotions. But what if that whole idea is wrong? What if nobody can make you angry? What if your peace was never theirs to take in the first place? This isn't a superpower, it's a skill. And in this video, I'm going to teach you the expect idiots rule, a simple but profound mindset shift that will show you how to never be angry or bothered by anyone ever again. This isn't about bottling up your feelings, it's about mastering them. If you're ready to build a mind so strong that nothing can disturb your peace, take a second and subscribe to this channel. We're all on a journey to reclaim our inner world, one practical step at a time. Section 1. The Ancient Secret to Modern Peace. Okay, before we get to any rules, you have to understand this one fundamental truth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it over 2,000 years ago, it's not things that upset us, but our opinions about them. Let that really sink in. The rude cashier, the friend who bailed on you, the boss who overlooked your work, they aren't the source of your anger. The real source is the story you tell yourself about what they did. You create a narrative, they disrespected me, they must think I'm an idiot, this is so unfair. That story, that judgment, is the fuel for the fire. The event itself is neutral. It's your interpretation that makes it hurt. Acknowledging this is the first, and honestly, the hardest step. It means taking total responsibility. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances, you are the architect of your own emotional experience. And that's where your real power is. You can't control the world outside of you, but you can, with practice, achieve mastery over the world inside you. Section 2. The rule that changes everything, expect idiots. Alright, let's get into the first big rule, and it's a game changer, the expect idiots rule. Now, I know that sounds cynical, but it's actually deeply pragmatic. Every morning, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, literally the most powerful man in the world, would do a version of this. He'd tell himself that today he was going to meet with meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, and dishonest people. He knew he couldn't avoid them, so he prepared for them. The expect idiots rule isn't about calling people names. It's about managing your expectations. Think about it. You don't get shocked or offended when it rains if you already checked the forecast and brought an umbrella. This is the exact same idea. You have to wake up and just accept that today, you will run into human imperfection. People will be driven by their own fears and insecurities. Someone's going to cut you off in traffic because they're late and panicking, not because they have a personal vendetta against you. Someone will leave a nasty comment online because they feel powerless in their own life, not because they have a valid point about yours. When you expect it, you're not surprised. When you're not surprised, you're not shocked. And when you're not shocked, you can bypass that emotional hijack and go straight to a calm, rational response. You see their behavior for what it is, a reflection of their inner world, not an attack on yours. By expecting flaws, you mentally disconnect from their impact. Their drama is their movie, you don't have to buy a ticket. Section 3. The 90-second lifeline. So, you've set your expectations, but a trigger still gets through. Your heart starts pounding, your face gets hot. You feel the rage building. What do? You use the 90-second rule. This comes from the work of neuroscientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. She found that the initial chemical rush that creates the physical feeling of an emotion, like anger, washes through the body and is gone in about 90 seconds. After that 90-second window, any continuation of that feeling is because you are consciously choosing to keep it alive by replaying the story in your head. So here's your lifeline. The moment you feel triggered, you don't act. You don't speak. You just start a silent timer in your head for 90 seconds. Breathe. Feel your feet on the floor. Watch the emotional wave rise, knowing that it will crash and fade if you don't feed it with more angry thoughts. In that minute and a half, you create a sacred pause. That pause is the space between the trigger and your response, and inside that space is your freedom. It lets the primitive, reactive part of your brain cool down so your logical mind can come back online. Wait out the chemical storm, and you'll find you're no longer its prisoner. Section 4. The Mindset Shift, from Victim to Scientist. Once you've started to master that pause, you can do the real work, reframing the situation. Most of us react to triggers by asking, "Why is this happening to me?" This is a victim's question. It assumes you're being attacked and puts you in a powerless position. The master of their emotions asks a different question: what is this trying to teach me? With that one question, you shift from being a victim to being a scientist, a student of your own mind. You get curious. Why did that comment bother me so much? What underlying need of mine feels threatened here? My need for respect? For appreciation? For control? This changes everything. An annoying person is no longer an enemy, they become an emotional gym partner. They're just providing resistance to help you build your inner strength. Every trigger is a training opportunity. When your coworker tries to get a rise out of you, you can silently think, "Thanks for the chance to practice patience." When someone is rude, you can think, "Interesting. This is a test of my ability to stay centered." You start to see life not as a string of attacks, but as a curriculum designed for your own growth. Section 5. Detach like a boss, the art of not engaging. A huge part of this practice is learning the art of strategic detachment. You have to realize that not every battle needs to be fought. In fact, most of them don't. Not every invitation to an argument needs to be accepted. There's a massive amount of power in what some call the no opinion option. When people are gossiping or complaining, you don't have to jump in. You can just stay quiet. When someone tries to bait you into a pointless debate, you can offer a simple, "You might be right," and just walk away. This isn't weakness, it's the ultimate form of control. You are saving your most valuable resource, your energy. Remember this phrase, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." You have to decide what's actually worth your emotional investment. A stranger's terrible driving? Not your circus. A cousin's political rant on social media? Not your monkeys. Giving your energy to things you can't control is the fastest way to feel frustrated and burnt out. Detachment is your shield. You see the chaos, you acknowledge it, and you choose to let it pass by like clouds in the sky, without letting it become your weather. Section 6. Forgive for your own freedom. And finally, a crucial and often misunderstood step, forgiveness. We tend to think of forgiveness as something we do for the other person, a gift we give them. It's not. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It doesn't harm them, it just corrodes you from the inside out, keeping the anger and resentment on a constant loop. You're basically handcuffing yourself to the past and letting someone live rent-free in your head. To forgive doesn't mean you approve of what they did. It doesn't mean you have to let them back into your life. It simply means you are making a conscious choice to release the emotional weight of it all. You are cutting the energetic cord that ties you to that person and that event. You're saying, that was their weakness, their mistake, their brokenness, and I will no longer carry it as my burden. You do it for your own freedom, so you can move on, lighter, with your peace of mind intact. Your journey to unshakable peace starts with a single decision. If you're ready to commit to this, I want you to do two things. First, share your single biggest trigger in the comments below, the one thing that always gets under your skin. Naming it is the first step to taming it. Second, type peace in the comments to make a declaration to yourself and this community that you are reclaiming your inner calm. So, let's tie this all together. The path to never being bothered by anyone isn't about becoming an emotionless robot. It's about becoming the master of your inner world. It starts with accepting the truth. Your anger comes from your judgments, not from what happens outside of you. Then, you build your practice on a few pillars. First, expect idiots. Prepare for human imperfection so it never shocks you. Second, master the 90-second pause to create a space between trigger and reaction. Third, reframe triggers as teachers, turning every annoyance into a workout for your soul. And fourth, detach with purpose. Choose where you invest your energy and learn to let go of the rest. This isn't an overnight fix. It's a daily practice, a skill you'll get better at over time. But every time you pause instead of reacting, every time you choose curiosity over blame, every time you let a slight go without giving it your energy, you are building a new pathway in your brain. You are building a fortress of calm, a place of unshakable peace that no one can ever touch. You are taking back control, not of others, but of the only thing that ever truly mattered, yourself.